everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Tech Unveiled. Have you ever wondered why AR and VR headsets like these ones hasn't really taken off yet? Well, in this episode, we will unveil the importance of time-critical communication and how it will bring applications and devices like these to life. I'm Lena, and I will be your guide on this discovery journey. So please join me, and let's go meet the experts. So with me here in the studio today, I have Ali Zaidi, Strategic Product Manager for Cellular IoT. And we have Marie Hogan, Head of Broadband and New Business for 5G. Welcome to Tech Unveiled.
Thanks, Lena.
So Marie, let's start with the basics. What is time-critical communication, and why is it so important for existing and emerging 5G use cases?
Well, Lena, as you know, we're in the middle of the global rollout of 5G. And of course, at Ericsson, we're already starting to look at what comes next. Many of the emerging use cases we see are actually time-critical in nature, which means they're dependent on the reliable delivery of consistent low latency. So time-critical communication enables consistent low latency delivery of data at high reliability at scale in both local and wide areas, and actually on any 5G band. By focusing on consistent low latency, time-critical communication is fundamentally different from mobile broadband, which focuses on high peak rates and best effort latency. Can still be low latency, but best effort. So we believe that time-critical communication will enable the next wave of 5G innovations for consumers and industry, government and society. With those innovations, the applications we will build can bring better quality of life and improved safety for people, improved productivity and efficiency in industries, and build a more sustainable future for all.
So the driving force is reliable, consistent, low latency. But Ali, can you give us an example of such a time-critical application that we all can relate to?
Absolutely. So there is a wide range of time-critical applications, and the majority of them can be classified into 4 categories. Real-time media, remote control, industrial control, and mobility automation. Perhaps it's the real-time media category that is most relatable. So I will give you an example from that use case category. Here we see a bunch of augmented reality and virtual reality headsets. As we can see that these are a bit bulky and they have short device battery life. In some cases, they have to be connected to powerful PCs and gaming consoles. One of the major reasons behind these limitations is that the XR applications, they require heavy processing. Now, our ambition with 5G is that we can offload large part of the processing and functionality from the device to the mobile network, and thereby enable lightweight and affordable glasses for mass adoption. And that is what exactly time-critical communication enables.
So by offloading processing to the network with time-critical communication, we will actually pave the way for devices to become more suitable for our everyday life situations. Yeah?
Exactly.
Okay, sounds like that will enable a whole range of new use cases. Marie, how do you say service providers can leverage time-critical communication from a business perspective?
Well, we believe that time-critical communication will unlock tremendous revenue potential for our service providers in both the public and private networks. By enabling the consistent and reliable delivery of data within specified latency or delay bounds, time-critical communication offers something new compared to existing cellular and non-cellular technologies. And as you know, 5G can be deployed in both local and wide areas, but so also can 5G time-critical communication. And then for those high-end use cases, for example, in the manufacturing sector, where the demands of short-range communication exist, then time-critical communication outperforms other short-range technologies in terms of security, flexibility, and reliability. So we believe that our service providers can seize opportunities in both local and wide areas, and also in both public and private networks, and roll out use cases of varying degrees of latency, service availability, and with different coverage capabilities.
Can you elaborate a bit more on these two different deployment approaches and the use cases that each will enable?
Sure. So if you talk about deployment approaches, two main categories. There is general public networks, and there is private networks, sometimes called dedicated or non-public networks. So if we take general public networks first, here our service providers can leverage existing 5G infrastructure by rolling out time-critical applications with more moderate requirements in terms of service availability and in terms of low latency, so maybe between 20 to 50 milliseconds, for example. They can monetize then the revenue that they will get from these new high-end applications on top of the mobile broadband applications they have today. So these highly reliable, low latency, real-time services and experiences that they will generate in the network. So you could think of more advanced augmented reality for entertainment, low, almost zero lag for cloud gaming, and remote control of vehicles. Then if we take the other deployment scenario for private networks, here the service providers can deploy isolated or partly hybrid network infrastructure for dedicated network scenarios for enterprises and government institutions. So then you would be able to roll out time-critical applications with the more high-end requirements, so in highly demanding service availability, for example, and more demanding latency. So this time maybe between 1 and 20 milliseconds. And here you could think about maybe for entertainment and education, highly immersive virtual reality that we mentioned earlier. You could think about remote control of industrial equipment and vehicles, and something like smart grid automation, for example.
So public network for the less demanding use cases, and then the private networks for the more demanding ones.
Precisely.
Yeah. So we talked a lot about the benefits that time-critical communication will bring both to business, but also to society as a whole. But Ali, from a technical perspective, what has prevented this from happening already?
From a technical perspective, the main challenges have to do with latency and interruption in mobile networks. Ericsson has identified 6 major causes of delay and interruption in today's mobile networks, which are preventing adoption of time-critical applications on a reasonable scale, both in terms of volume and diversity of scenarios. These causes of latency include congestion, radio environment, mobility, standards and protocols, device power saving, and also network topology. And time-critical communication can address these challenges by introducing time-critical communication capabilities in 5G networks and devices. Time-critical communication offers a large toolbox for enabling reliability and consistent low latency. It includes Ericsson's innovations as well as 3GPP standardized features for ultra-reliable and low-latency communications.
So now the technology is in place, but that's just one piece of the puzzle. So Marie, how can Ericsson support the entire ecosystem to realize time-critical communication?
Great question, Lena. So time-critical communication is new. So, of course, there have been many questions in the ecosystem in terms of, the capabilities that are needed, technical capabilities, and also end-user requirements. So Ericsson have been collaborating and engaging with ecosystem partners in our global innovation experience centers, both to answer these questions, but also to build confidence that 5G would deliver on these new application requirements. We have pioneered over 100 industry collaborations since 2017 with the major partners and ecosystem players from various sectors. And since the collaboration and cooperation of the full ecosystem is so crucial to this, we're working with device partners that are already now starting to include time-critical communication capabilities in their commercial plans from the end of this year. So as the global leader in 5G networks, we have a holistic view of the time-critical applications that are starting to emerge and the requirements on those. And we believe we're in pole position to lead the next wave of innovation for 5G, enabling it with time-critical communication.
Exciting times ahead, but thank you so much, Ali and Marie, for sharing your expertise with us here today. And thank you all for joining us. And should you want to know more about time-critical communication, please go to ericsson.com/techunveiled and read our blog on the topic. In the next episode of Tech Unveiled, we will have a closer look at indoor solutions for 5G. So I hope to see you then. But until then, take care, stay safe, and bye for now.